We're coming to you live from Brookhaven Country Club in good old Dallas, Texas. Let's hear it. Hey, all you cool cats and kittens. Hope you're doing groovy today. It's Thursday. It's time for the Job Seeker Hotline Show. So my guest today is All-Star Sorcerer, founder, creator of greatness, and he has brought Batman to life better than Val Kilmer, Michael Keaton.
You started with a really low bar there. That was like, you went like...
Well, founder and CEO of Better Job Fit. She is one of my amazing coaches. Wait, where are you? Why am I double... What?
Thank you for bringing your own verve and spunk to this show.
Hey there, we're taking a brisk weekend walk with Michael Goldberg, LinkedIn content creator herself. Miss Judy Fox, welcome to the show.
Woo!
Hey everyone, this is Michael Goldberg with tip number 4 of 10 tips in 10 days. I have got a great guest on today, whatever. Well, of course, now I'm the big picture, and that moved. All right. Welcome. Let me stop the share here. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you're listening from. This is Michael Goldberg, and welcome to LinkedIn Live Lunch Hour. I have got a great guest today, and her name is Bridgette Corridan, and she is the VP of Partnerships with Heroes.jobs. And I think if you've got recruiters and buddies out there and you want to get them on here, you need to share this with them, because I have got a really cool tool that Bridgette's going to share with you here. But before we kind of dive into that, Bridgette, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes. Hello. Thank you for having me on your lunch show. Hopefully everybody's eating something delicious.
It's your breakfast hour there, right?
It's my breakfast hour here on the West Coast. But yes, so my name is Bridgette Corridan. I have been in talent acquisition for over 20 years. I've worked for a variety, kind of in everywhere you could work in recruiting. I've done it. So I spent years on the agency side. I spent years in fast growth tech startups, in bigger tech companies. And then for the last years was really focused on retail and leading field hiring needs within retail. And so I joined Heroes back beginning of February, mostly because I fell in love with what they're passionate about, and their passions match mine, which is really this bringing authenticity into a recruiting process that I think has been lacking it and needed it for so long. So my true passions are around creating processes for people to show up as their whole selves, so they get to attract jobs that they actually love and where they get to grow and love being. And in the over 20 years of, recruiting, there has been so much that has changed. I mean, and Michael, you may have been doing this as well early on in your career, but I used to fax resumes. Like, that was how I sent resumes to people.
No, that's how I got started.
You did too,
well,
right?
Actually, I can go back one. I can one up you there. I remember I've got this here. Watch, look at this. This is a typewriter. Would you like to see this? This is like a 1965, 70.
Oh my God.
A typewriter. So I got you beat on the faxes.
Weighs like 1 million pounds. That's hilarious.
It's like 45 pounds. It's ridiculous.
Right.
And it still works.
Right. So, So, I mean, resumes, in all the changes happened, resumes have stayed consistent. And I think that they are severely lacking in giving you an idea of who a person is, particularly if you're hiring at the hourly level for people with potential. A resume doesn't even come close to giving you any of that. So that's kind of why I joined Heroes, and we'll talk a little bit more about what Heroes does, but get to align with their passion and they get to align with mine. So yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And so I don't know if you mentioned which retailer you worked for for quite a while. You worked for a very big retailer
Yeah.
based out of San Francisco.
Yeah.
Well, don't tell them. In
Okay.
the comments, I want you to either go to her LinkedIn profile and connect with her, and then tell me in the comments below which company, which major retailer she worked for. She worked for an amazing company. So, so let's kind of jump in. Let's talk about the Heroes Jobs app itself. I know that the founder Tristan and there's a group of you. We're really trying to figure out a way to make it easier for hourly workers to apply. Can you tell me the story of how that evolved? Because I think that's an important piece here to share.
Yeah. So our co-founders, really, Heroes was born out of their experience of coming out of university and starting to go into this process of now you have to create a resume and now you have to send this piece of paper that supposedly is you out to these companies, right? And they were so frustrated by what they felt were the limitations of this expression. All of their friends were frustrated. It felt like it was wrong. And they ended up working with a lot of companies and traveling the world for the year and finding that most companies' greatest needs were to find great people. And so here we have needs on the candidate side where they feel like they want to find jobs that they love and they connect with, but the resume is the only tool that's currently out there and available for them to share who they are. And then you've got the companies that are saying the hardest thing that we do is hire, and it's so important that we hire great people that connect with who we are. And so Heroes Jobs recruitment marketplace was born out of that, this idea that what if we allowed people to see who the other truly is, to show the personality not only of the person applying for the job, but of the person hiring for the job and the company and what that looks for. And that's how Heroes Jobs started. And so we're currently across the nation in the US. We work with grocers, food and beverage providers, retailers to help them hire their hourly workforce in a way that's truly connecting people that are passionate about their brand to them and allowing them this opportunity to see. So it's really by using the magic of video, which we are obviously currently experiencing on this call. It's how we all post-COVID deeply connect with each other and authentically connect with each other. It is the way that we showcase who we are, and that's what Heroes is allowing people to do much earlier than the funnel than anything else, which speeds up the interview process that much more.
All right. So we do have a winner, by the way.
All right.
He's actually a good guy. He name's Michael Crowder. Is an IT strategist here in Dallas, and he guessed the Gap.
Good
So
job. Got
Good
it
job.
right.
So there you go. For answering that question, Michael will receive applause. Yay! That's called spur of the moment. There you go. I would offer $1 million if I had $1 million, but I don't. So, so thanks, Michael, for tuning in and answering that. So, one of the key things that I loved about this app is that it goes outside the normal boundaries of recruiting and typical HR, which is you're having your hiring managers do the intro videos. So instead of these long-winded, boring, sometimes vague, sometimes too detailed, sometimes regurgitated job descriptions out there, they're doing a video, and it's a warm and a welcoming video that these managers do.
Right.
Talk to me about how that idea came to play, and how are you seeing HR and recruiting departments reacting to that? Because it kind of, well, it gives them control. It kind of takes away their control in terms of, well, you got to apply to the ATS, which is
right.
Most ATSs don't know what candidate experience is.
Well, so as I was leading field teams in talent acquisition strategies, within the Gap, what I found, and I found this in technology across the board, is that we have this very specific idea of who a candidate is. It's somebody that finds your job and then applies to your job and then might look at some things and goes through the entire process and then has to go through another process, right? It's this very structured piece where pretty much we're putting the onus on the candidate to figure out if it's a good match or not for them through a large part of the process where they're discovering. Now, it depends on how good we are at employment branding, how well are we talking about ourselves on LinkedIn and Glassdoor and our career website, for people to even figure out who we are. But it's by far the most important thing that candidates look for. After having as well, created a career coaching program that I work with people, the number one thing that they want to know is, what's it really like there? Why am I going to connect with your company? Why will it make me happy? Why will I enjoy going to work every day, right? Like, that's the most important question that a candidate can ask. And I found as a recruiter that sometimes people don't even ask it. And sometimes they ask it at the very end of, maybe your first interview with a recruiter, maybe it's with the hiring manager, but it's something that I think is the most important thing. So when you think about a job description, which is so rarely inspiring, like just those words don't have.
You're being nice.
Yeah, it's so rarely. I'm going to say there might be like one where you're like, this is written so amazing, right? But it's not alive. A job description doesn't have a feeling to it. You can't see it. And so for me as a candidate, when I think about working somewhere and I meet with my future boss, there's a lot of things going on in my head in that process of going, can I work for this person? How do I connect with them? What do they care about? What does this look like? Because if they are going to be my leader, it's important that we align. And I feel like they have my best interest at heart so that I can see myself at this place long-term and have this great career opportunity in front of me, right? So when you go into really just the psychology of what's the most important to a candidate and how our current structure doesn't support like the early discovery of that, that's where Heroes really came up with the idea of, okay, if candidates really want to know what it's like and they want to know who the person is, let's allow the hiring manager to tell them that. So imagine you were a candidate, Michael, and you were considering working for me, Bridgette Corridan, whatever company, and you read a description that usually, particularly in big companies, has gone through some sort of a legal scrutiny, right? Many times it has a lot of legal things about, particularly at the hourly level in a role where you're moving around a lot, about lifting things and what you're doing, right? Like there's all of these different things that they've tied to it. But if you came and instead of reading something, you saw a video of me saying something to the equivalent of, hi, I'm Bridgette and I work at Heroes. My team super passionate about changing recruiting and making it better. And we're looking for people that want to humanize the recruitment process. And we'd love for you to come and work with us. And then I showed you some videos of our office and maybe a couple other people on the team that are like, you know what, here's why I love working on this team. Imagine the difference of your experience having looking at an actual video of the person you would work for and getting a sense of it and connecting in there. And so to kind of take it the next step further, the ability for a company to be able to allow their store managers to share their story. They're also sharing their brand story, which is where, and I hear a lot of the recruitment industry talking about like recruitment marketing and how recruitment marketing and marketing should be the same thing, right? Like we're just targeting candidates. We're targeting people that we want to tell about your brand, whether they decide to apply to your brand or not. You have an opportunity to influence them, and maybe they'll come in and shop for you next time they're in the neighborhood, right? That there's this connection point to something greater. And a job description is never going to engage a potential customer along with a candidate to understand who you are and the people within those brands. But video is the power that has. to do that.
No doubt. And I know that you all do it. I know Spark, I don't know if you're familiar with them, but Spark does it, but they also do it you can do it for any position, whether it's hourly or non-exempt. They're based out of New York. But what I really like about this is you don't have to go through the ATS system unless, the hiring managers are being told to. So you can integrate this with ATS systems. Is that correct?
Yes. And so we do have it integrated so that as well, because we're always thinking about the candidate experience and making it the best possible for them. So if you are somebody that's potentially wanting to, say you're in Dallas, Texas, like you, and you go onto Heroes, you download the app, it takes less than a minute. You go on and you start to look, like what are the jobs near me that are hiring? And you're getting these stories. You're getting these stories of the people hiring, the companies, what they're about. And you're getting a sense of who you want to apply for. Then you're going to go on and make your videos and talk about your strengths and your potential and all of the things you're really looking for, your personality within those candidates. And then you're applying there. So once you've applied there, if we're working with a company, and we're integrated with them, that's the experience you're going to have. You will have applied on the app, and then it filters through the ATS. So then all of the tracking can happen on the back end from a recruiting perspective. But you as a candidate have had this really seamless experience via the tool that you're on all the time, which is your phone, right?
Right.
And you, in the market that we're in right now, where unemployment is high, and you sending your resume in against 200 plus other people, it's not a differentiator. You don't get to tell who you are and what you're all about. And you don't get to get a sense of what the jobs are all about. So it's the way we've always done it continues to kind of create this panic in the job search process, which is around like, I just have to apply to everything, right? Like I'm going to apply to 100 jobs and whoever calls me back, I'm going to work for. Like, that's not a long-term match for happiness on either side, right? So allowing them to connect in with people that they connect with, apply to those jobs, and then have them be able to see, instead of a resume, with a real life person who's talking about their strengths and where they ideally see themselves in a year, how they manage customers. It's just giving you so much more like real important information you actually assess against that much earlier in the funnel.
So not only do candidates see the managers, see some of the other employees, get a kind of a virtual tour of the store or the restaurant or the casino or wherever they're applying, then they would it be like that one-way interview where they pop on and answer a few questions? And then if I remember correctly in our previous conversations, the manager actually gets the video of the candidates applying, and it doesn't necessarily have to go to the ATS, correct?
Right. Yeah. So all of the candidate applications are going to come in through the app. They will also be in the ATS, so that you'll have access to them in both places. So depending on how you need to move people through the process, this is from like a talent acquisition management of process perspective. They'll be in there and you'll be able to move them through that. But all of the people that have applied via the app are all going to be available on the actual app, which can either be, on mobile, on an iPad, or on a desktop version for them to be able to access.
Nice. So, and I just think that, because, really, do hourly workers need a resume? My short answer, if I'm hiring at, whether it be one of your clients or a big player such as Amazon for a warehouse worker, or Choctaw Casino for which is a big casino at the Oklahoma-Texas border, where they hire a lot of hotel and casino workers. That they don't have those resumes. They don't need to have resumes. And I just think that your tool is one of the first tools that just makes it so easy for hourly workers to apply. And I think if I think for the recruiters that are looking, and even the candidates, this is an opportunity for you to make it easy to apply. Now, let me ask you something. Let's go to the candidates here for a second. What would you advise for our job seeker friends out there who may be watching or watching on the replay? What if I have a fear of getting on a camera? What should I do there? How do I get over that hump?
So Heroes, there's some other video tools that are used for interviewing, and many times you're kind of just given a link and then you've got to kind of answer on the spot and be able to kind of perform, right? Heroes, we're trying to really help coach the candidates to be their best selves. So we're helping you. We're kind of giving you tips and tools to help you create the best version of the profile for yourself. We have customer, resources for our candidates to be able to reach out and say, hey, can you help me with this? And they'll be able to give you feedback on that in the moment. You get to record it as many times as you want till you feel good about it. So many times that just comes with practice. And it also takes, putting it back in the candidate's hands to be able to practice showing up as their best selves. It does change what is a typical interview process, right? Which can feel very hierarchical, and that they've got to show up as their best selves in that moment, even though they don't know what question's coming, right? And so if you don't have a lot of experience and you haven't interviewed a lot before, and what you're doing is really looking for your first job, or you love working with customers, but you've done other sorts of jobs before and you're leaning into this new skill set, the ability for you to kind of practice and then put that together. Our candidates are telling us they feel so supported by how we help them do that, because it isn't something where it's high pressure. It's really allowing them to kind of practice and be their best selves to showcase that to the potential employers, which is what it's like when you work for them, right? It's not this weird scenario where people ask questions and you got to get it right, and they're like judging you on every single moment of that.
Yeah, I mean, and so I think, there are some recruiters that will say, well, I've worked with, some of the big boys in the video space, and I'm not going to give them any street cred, because while some of them were okay, they weren't all that great, and people just felt that it took away from the personalized candidate experience. So walk me through how the candidate experience here is enhanced versus taken away. I know the answer, but I want you to tell the audience.
Yeah. So I'll give you an example first, and I talked about this a little bit before, but kind of traditionally, I think video has been used to make the screening process easier for recruiters. So the purpose of the tool has really been to say, okay, great. We've got this many people that made it for maybe the first screen, maybe they answered questions in the application process, et cetera, et cetera. Now we're going to send them this link, and they're going to walk through different things and have to answer it kind of on the spot in a video. And then this is another thing that we're going to review before we even decide if we bring you on board, right? The experience on Heroes as a candidate, before you even made your own videos, you're watching videos of all of these other people who've made videos for you, right? So in many cases, it's switching the onus on the company side to do it first, right? The company's like, okay, we're willing to show up this way, and yeah, we're not perfect, and here's us doing a selfie in our store, and we don't have perfect lighting and what is, but you know what? It's okay, because this is who we are, and this is where you'll actually work every day, and this is what kind of leader I'm trying to be. So from a candidate experience, when you download the app and you're on the app, you then are getting this experience where they're doing it first. The company's showing you, like, here's who we are. So the excitement with leaning into, like, okay, great, this might not be my favorite thing to do if I'm somebody who has a hard time with video. But I have as many times of practice as I want. I have these 4 questions, but I get to really get clear on how I want to show up and send this to those companies that excite me.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's super. So we have a little demo video here that I want to share out with the crowd. So let me play with this here for a second. Boom, 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 and here we go.
This is Heroes Jobs, where real people connect with real brands. It all starts with users recording mini videos just like Snapchat. Relax, we got examples for the shy ones. When they're done, they swipe through brands closest to them. Oh look, Kate from Joe and the Juice is saying hi. Then they can discover the cool benefits. If they want to work here, they apply in just one tap. Yay, application submitted. Now, where do the videos go? Well, they arrive on the Recruiter app where managers swipe through them. Bye-bye useless cover letters and resumes. Candidates' experiences and availabilities are all right here. They like this one? Just chat to set up an interview. Easy, right? Welcome to the future of recruitment.
All right, so it's just so easy. It's just that easy. And so if you have kids that are looking for summer jobs, or you're looking and it's right now your area isn't really hiring, like if you're if you want to keep busy and do something, what I would say is you need to go on Heroes Jobs, look who's hiring, because they have some extremely large clients on there. And yes, it'd be a short-term gig, but it's helping make ends meet. That's what this tool is for. But let me ask you a question, Bridgette, because as a talent leader, especially in the hourly worker world, if someone like myself wanted to apply to the Gap to help make ends meet, would they still hire me? Or are they going to see through, well, this guy, when he finds another job, he's going to head for the hills and go take the higher paying job? Can the tool be used for that in that way? Or do you think hiring managers would prefer to see people that are looking to come learn and grow with the company? Or is it a combination of both?
Well, I think it's always going to be a combination of both, because everybody has a different perspective. What I know from having worked within Gap Inc. is that hiring teams that are diverse and that bring a whole variety of background to the table is a priority for Gap Inc., right? And I think it's a priority for a lot of people now, whether that's diversity of race, diversity of age, diversity of gender, diversity of thinking. There's a very important need to focus on what that looks like. And so as the tool that is currently most used for people to show who they are and to potentially get a job, what happens, say, when a store manager gets, maybe we had a store manager in Los Angeles, used to get probably around 200 or so applications, getting upwards of like 600 now. So for him to do his due diligence and create what feels like a fair opportunity for everybody that's applying, he'd need to go through all of those. But he'd have to come up with his own version of how to screen against that, right? Whereas with Heroes, what we do in terms of trying to change the way people apply to jobs is not to support the idea that you send your resume out to hundreds of places and hope that one hires you, right? Instead, within the app, we're guiding our candidates to apply to 3 jobs. Like those are the 3 jobs they can apply to. When they hear back one way or the other, that opens up more opportunities for them. But the idea is that you're not applying to every single job that's on Heroes. You're truly listening. You're connecting in with those managers that are telling their story. You're connecting in with that brand, and you're applying to the ones that feel like the best fit for you. So as opposed to just the candidate doing whatever they want, and then the hiring manager screening whatever way they want to try and not have to talk to 600 people. What we're doing is trying to connect people who are truly interested in your brand because you shared it, right? And you shared it, connect those people with you to be able to see what that looks like. And so what we want to support is that you, Michael, who may be looking for something in the interim, but you're really good with customers and you really care about them. If you do this video and you're really showcasing like who you are and why you like working with customers and what that looks like, the likelihood that they'd say, gosh, I like his personality. I think he'd be great with some of our customers, right? Is that much higher than based on resume alone, because they have no sense of truly of who you are or how you interact with people. They might just look at your experience and say, well, gosh, this guy's too experienced, right? But once you get to bring all of you into this place and speak to them, there's a bigger picture. There's more opportunity for people to see who this person is. And if they're hiring for engagement and personality and connection to customers, then that's what you're getting a sense of from people in these videos as they're applying.
In terms of the influx that some of your clients are seeing in terms of hourly, is it high volume? I mean, are you seeing 50, 100, 200, 300, 500 people applying for one job to your clients, or is it, or is it just kind of catching on? What's going on, and how do you prevent? Because we all know, and we've all done it, ghosting is a huge issue with candidates.
Right.
So how do you prevent the candidates from being ghosted by your clients?
So in the same way that I spoke with you around kind of asking the candidates to focus in on their top 3 and applying there. So the mindset is that I'm actually applying to somewhere that I want to work at instead of just hoping somebody's going to hire me, right? It's a different mindset. On the client side, we have a time limit. You only get the candidates that apply to your job for 5 days. So the idea is we're trying to also change the idea that I'm just going to leave a job open forever, and then I'm going to go back 6 months from now. I'm going to reach out to all those people, right? I think one of the hardest habits for district managers and field recruiters to get store managers in the habit of is to always be hiring. And always be hiring is what Heroes is helping them do, right? So they're getting reminders like, hey, this person applied 2 days ago, you need to reach out to them immediately. And if for some reason they don't, within those 5 days, they're going to lose them. So it's creating a sense of urgency also from the hiring manager perspective. It's getting them to engage with these people because they also know that they're one of 3 jobs they get to apply to. So the likelihood that they are connected in to your brand is that much higher. So the quality is coming in with this engagement that much easier. So from a no-show rate perspective, Panda Express is a big company that we're working with across the US. They saw a 35% decrease in no-show rates because the people that are applying to their jobs are that much more connected to who they are. So they're showing up for those interviews and being a part of that.
That's awesome.
Which is a big deal for them. Yeah.
So how do the hiring, the store managers in this case, how do they balance, their operations and administrative duties, ensuring the store is presentable, everything's stocked, so on and so forth? Are recruiters helping them, or is this just another responsibility to put on the hiring managers to ensure that they're getting back to people?
So I would say there's probably never been a more complicated time to be a store manager right now, right?
Right.
I mean, you have your regular millions of operational things that you need to execute on. And I don't think that store managers aren't always hiring because they're lazy. It's because they have 7,000 things to do, right? Being a store manager is one of the most diverse roles you can have, where you literally are doing a million things. And so now you add COVID on top of that, right? As you're reopening your store, you've got all these regulations for spacing and cleaning and different people that can be in the store at different times. There's all of these things you need to be thinking about. So what our clients are telling us they're most grateful for is the fact that this is such a huge time saver. So, in terms of hiring for one position, pre-COVID, we were working with Walgreens in the Bay Area, and we did a case study with them where they were saving on average 12 days per hire by using Heroes. Candidates are more engaged. They're showing up. They're connected in. So they're actually pulling from a pool of candidates that are more deeply connected to what this brand is and who they are and why they might want to work there. And so if there was ever a time that these store managers need to save time, it's now, right? Instead of spending, and that was pre-COVID, they were saving all of this time. Now, with say 200 resumes they might be getting in, they don't even have the time to go through 200 resumes. So it isn't a fair and equal process to all, right? So when you've got this, a tool where people are really connecting with the job that they want, and they're getting a sense of who that person is, it's saving them all this front funnel time to, in essence, kind of say, I saw your video, boom, come in-person interview. And our clients are hiring within, 1 to 3 days based on what their internal process is. So it's that much quicker. You're getting the people that are connected in the door, and you can do the other stuff, because on top of all the organizational and operational stuff you have to do as a store manager, you've also got your customers, which are the most important part of your business. And they're going to have their own versions of fears and wondering what's happening. And you need to be able to show up to support them and hire people that can support them in this process where it's a different world, which you're not used to. And we all need process kind of, help processing and walking through it in terms of day-to-day life.
Yeah, I mean, it's what I'm hearing is they have to find that balance, whether it's either during work hours or after work hours, to go through those resumes. Now, when they're being rejected, are they being rejected immediately and being informed, hey, we're not going to move forward with your candidacy at this time? What's that experience like when they, as they go through the candidate journey? So
as we've done different, focus groups and such with our candidates and talked with them, the speed with which they find out if they're a fit or not for a job is one of the things they love most. And they feel taken care of by Heroes. We continue to say, okay, great. Well, what about this job? And we'll see if we get new clients on in their area. We'll send them alerts to say, hey, we're not sure if you're still looking for a job, but what do you think of this, right? We're really trying to support their process. Whether the person, connects with them or not, at least they're hearing back and it's opening up other opportunities for them to do that. And so, as opposed to just, I would say what I have found in coaching people across all levels. So this is not just, hourly workers, but even executives. When you apply somewhere and you never hear back, there's just kind of an emotional piece that takes a toll on somebody in that process that is disheartening. And alongside of all the things that are happening in the world right now, which take a lot of space for us to kind of process and emotionally be able to show up for, this is one less thing for them to have to kind of manage, because they're going to know within 5 days whether it's a match or not, and they're going to move that much quicker towards that role for them.
I think that's great. I think it's great. So as we kind of wrap up things here, what if people want to get in touch with you, to learn more, especially like employers, and they want to get to know more about you, where can they go?
Okay.
I know it's an app, but you have a website, right?
Yeah. Yes. So you can go to heroes.jobs is our website. When you click on there, first thing you'll see is kind of the client experience. So it talks to it from kind of more like a recruiter talent acquisition perspective. But you can also click on the right-hand side to walk you through kind of the candidate experience if you're interested in looking at it from a candidate perspective as well. And I'd play with it. Like go to your app store on your phone, download Heroes. It will take less than a minute. And get a sense for what it feels like to be a candidate in this scenario, right? And play with it a little bit, which I think is the greatest way to get a sense of what Heroes is all about. You can connect with me directly on LinkedIn, would probably be the easiest way to connect in, or Bridgette at heroes.jobs.
Excellent. And will you make them a poster like the one behind your head, like we used to do in high school?
I don't know if I can do that for other people. Really, that's like I might be able to. I'd have to find out, what you're really excited about. But yes, this is my like little vision board. It makes me happy to see it behind me in these Zoom meetings.
I love it. I think it's so cute and it's funny. And I remember we used to, for when we had boyfriends and girlfriends, we would do that. We'd put together, our moms would get like, whether it be Good Housekeeping or Cosmo or, and you just start cutting through these magazines, and guys did it too. I mean, come on, guys. I know you all did it. That's what I did. That was the romantic in me.
Did you also make mixtapes for the girls you liked?
Well, of course. Duh. Yeah, right. What was your favorite best mixtape song? Let me ask you that. That's someone made for you.
You know what's weird? The song I love so much, mostly just because I love singing it, is Careless Whisper by Wham.
It's a good one.
I love that. Good one. I don't know why, but it just makes me feel like I'm just, just belting out my heart.
Right. Mine was Purple Rain. I don't know why.
That's another good one. Or When Doves Cry, Vigo Prince, When Doves
Cry. When Doves Cry. That was probably number 2.
Yeah.
I was a huge Prince fan. So growing up in the 80s. So, but of course, there's Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, and all those good ones too. So anyway, well, you have been a tremendous guest here, and I want people to definitely get in touch with you. I want recruiters to get in touch. I'm certainly going to do a write-up for you and help spread the word so that more recruiters see it. And I hope you had a good time on the show, and I hope that Heroes continues to do what they're doing for the hourly workers to get them back to work, and let's lower that unemployment rate, right?
Yeah. No, thank you. I'm really proud of the work that the team's doing, and I'm excited to talk to anybody that wants to learn more. So I'm here, and I think that you should make a playlist and send it out to your audience. I think that would be fun.
A playlist of what? A mixtape?
Of your song? No, of something that would be fun. Like, these are like my favorite songs to sing to, or something. I think your audience would love that. Speaking about this topic.
Well, it would. That's a great idea. It'd probably be a lot of Beatles songs. I'm a huge right. So, well, I hope that everybody that's watching, I want you to stay safe. Cases are going back up. Stay home. If you got to go out, put a frickin' mask on. Don't infect others. Go get tested if you don't feel good, and make sure that you are just respecting other people's opinions and beliefs, because right now there's a lot of interesting and bad things going on. So love, don't hate. And those are my messages to you guys. And we'll see you on the next LinkedIn Live lunch hour next week. Of course, we have Job Seeker Journeys popping on tomorrow. I've got 2 versions, one for Europe and one for the United States. So we're growing. It's going to be exciting. And if you have questions, you can always reach out to Bridgette or myself about Heroes Jobs, and we'll be glad to put you in touch with those folks over at Heroes Jobs. And I'm just super excited about this, Bridgette, for you guys, and wish you and Tristan, and I don't believe I've met the other co-founder, the best of luck. And I know this is something that if there's a need and a first recommendation, the first thought will be Heroes Jobs to get that out and get that all out there. So Thanks very much. I'll ask that you just stay on for a quick minute after I end the broadcast here. So everybody be well, be safe, and talk to you soon.